Hi there, and welcome to this webinar entitled ChatGPT and CRM from your inbox. We had quite a number of people sign up for this, so we really appreciate the interest, and we will do our best to make it as informative as possible. So I'd really like this to be a interactive session. So if you do have comments or questions at any time during the presentation, please just put it in the comments section on YouTube, right? And I'll actually try to bring up your question and answer it if I can. So please do that. Also, before we start, I wanted to tell you that I'm actually an AI. No, I'm just kidding, uh, but you never know. Actually, really short story. I called to do change my cellular plan, and the um, first time I called in, I actually got an AI voice thing, and then the second time I got a real person, and I accused the real person of being an AI, and I don't think they appreciated it actually. But at the end of the conversation, they were a little amused, so it was all good. So a few people saying hello. Cool Way Sports, I know them. How's it going today? And then Marek, using Salesforce. Actually, that's one of my questions. If you could start out by telling me what CRM you use and um, what um, what email system you use, that would be great. So if you just type that in there. So I actually use everything. So there's another Salesforce, couple more Salesforce. Yeah, oh, cool way uses iCRM, um, Outlook and Salesforce from Marek. Okay. Yeah, I use both Outlook and Gmail and Salesforce, but I will show both, and it's pretty similar in both, right? So you should get it. Okay, so here's one, a HubSpot, a bunch of HubSpots. That's great. And Outlook. Okay, Dynamics. All good. All right. I'm not gonna Zoho. Outlook and Zoho. Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll look through those in a second, but let me get started. I'll show a few slides and then we'll get into a live demo. Um, and hopefully it will be informative. So just so you know, our company's called iEnterprises, and we've actually been around a really long time, since the 1990s, and we've been doing like CRM and email the whole time. So we have some experience, and now we're actually part of a much larger company called Unaric, which is great because we have true global reach now, and lots more resources. Um, and it's a fun group too. So anyway, it's all good. So this is the obligatory subscribe. I actually put it in the comments while you guys were waiting. I was asking you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I really don't do tons and tons of webinars and things on YouTube, so you won't get spammed if you do subscribe. But the most important thing is I want to tell my kids I'm an influencer, and I'm actually just like a few hundred people away from being an influencer. If I can get some subscribes, that would be great. Cool Way, thank you so much. Um, yeah, yeah. So if my kids think I'm an influencer, I might actually be a cool dad in their eyes. We'll see. So anyway, I'd very much appreciate that. Okay, so we have a lot of product offerings, and we're really kind of focused on two things here. So, obviously the main one is the connectors that integrate email and CRM, and that also has ChatGPT stuff in it. Um, so, and now I'll talk about it in a second, Gemini and so on. So we support Gmail and Outlook, right? And there's a lot of different CRMs we support, including, of course, Salesforce, um, Dynamics, HubSpot, and even our own CRM called iCRM. So speaking of that, iCRM is a configurable all-in-one CRM that includes these connectors as part of the base price. It's a really good deal, actually. You get the whole CRM and everything at one low price. And then we have our ChatGPT connectors, and what they do is they integrate email and ChatGPT. Now, all the features and functions from the ChatGPT connectors are also in the connectors for email and CRM. And actually, we have a new product that's about to be released, which is like a Teams connector. So when that's released, we'll actually give you more information. So we've been in the CRM space for many, many years. And we've won all sorts of awards. We have top line customers. Um, is this a recorded John? No, it's not a recorded John. I promise I'm not an AI. Um, anyway, it's funny. And and lots of top line customers, both big and small. Like we have a lot of really large customers, but then we have a ton of smaller ones as well. So whether you're large or small, you might be, hopefully you're in the right place. um, anyway, yeah, one other, this is actually a good question I should have mentioned. This is a live, I'm live doing this from my home in New Jersey, actually. But when this is over, the same URL on YouTube is will serve as the recording for the webinar, right? So if you want to come back and watch it, you can. Thanks for asking that. Um, I appreciate it. So feel free to come back and review it. I'm sure you'll just want to loop it because it was so good, right? So the big thing we're talking about here is the ChatGPT AI that we've infused in in these applications, and I'll show a lot of that in the live demo. And actually, I'll ask another question like, what AI, if any, do you use? Let's call it regularly. I put that in the. So what AI do you use? You use ChatGPT, which is obviously like the first one that was really good. A lot of ChatGPTs. Um, but we've had a lot of things happen now where some of the larger, a lot of ChatGPT is great. Well, I know here's one that's Copilot and ChatGPT, Scribe and Red also. Copilot. I have some news about Copilot. But a lot of the larger companies now, like um, some don't like to use ChatGPT because the API actually sends their data outside of like their normal confines. Although it's obviously over fully encrypted and everything, I think it's pretty secure. But still, a lot of companies have policies that don't allow sharing of data. It'd be interesting to know if any of you work for larger companies, if you have these rules and if you've gotten by them. It's just kind of a matter of time before everybody, in my opinion anyway, will be using some AI or or will be an AI. Right? Anyway, so the ChatGPT stuff, like I'll show it live, so I don't need to read all this, but basically it helps you write emails, reply to emails. You can add context to your CRM using AI, um, and and get information about the person. And it even like now it analyzes the sentiment of the email thread and tells you if there's buying signs. That's new. And now we also offer an option with Gemini, right? And soon Copilot. So Gemini is already available, and if you're using Gmail, that might be really interesting. And kind of going back to what I said before, if you don't want your data to go outside the cloud you're already using, right? Using Gemini with Gmail, for instance, is a good way to go because Gemini is also in the Google Cloud. So you're kind of staying in the Google Cloud, right? And then very soon we're going to have Copilot too. We're actually waiting on the public APIs to be released for Copilot, and that will let you have the option. Right now, you have the option to use either ChatGPT or Gemini, but soon we'll be adding Copilot as well. Um, anyway, that's coming up. I know there was at least one or two people that were interested in Copilot. Here's one. That's great. Rock, I never heard of. Interesting. Maybe I'll look it up. Um, anyway, this is all coming. So like just like having CRM in your inbox is another important concept, and now we're infusing AI into that. Basically, it prevents dual entry, and I'm going to show you like this study especially is very interesting. People spend 30 hours a week in their email just looking at it, um, not necessarily even answering their emails. 30 hours a week. So you better bring your CRM into into the inbox, or you're probably not using your CRM at all, and you're wasting that whole um, that massive investment you made in CRM. And then all these other studies, or some of them anyway, talk about ease of use, how ease of use is critical. So infusing AI and bringing it into your inbox definitely makes it much easier to use. And companies that make database decisions are 19 times more profitable. All these studies, kind of prove um, what we're doing is really valuable. At least in my opinion, it does. Like this study about the 19 times more profitable. So, like, we're bringing the CRM data into your inbox, and then you're able to analyze it using AI and make better decisions. It's a no brainer, kind of. So, you've made this huge investment in CRM. Don't waste it, right? Make sure that everybody can do everything from email, right? I'll show all this, but basically, inside Gmail and Outlook, your CRM's brought forward, and the AI is infused into that. Same thing on the calendar. The the uh, the AI and the CRM are right there in the calendar as well. Um, so just a little bit about like why our stuff is better than everybody else. Of course, we're better than everybody else, at least in my opinion. Um, on the Google side, we're not a Chrome extension. Pretty much every other um, Gmail integration is a Chrome extension. So what does that mean? That means everything works on mobile. It works in every browser. There's nothing to install locally, and so on. Um, um, anyway, and another thing I'll say is like we all our products are actually get offered at one price. I have a pricing slide after the demo, but we don't do this whole like upsell thing. We don't say, oh, you want the connector and now you want the AI inside it too. Well, that costs more. No, no, we give you one price, and in all our paid versions, we include everything in that price. So more on Chrome extensions versus what we're using in Gmail anyway is a native Gmail add-on, and in Outlook we're using a native Outlook. It's called an add-in, and they both have great properties. So, like if you're using Chrome extensions, which is the competition, right, including Salesforce's own, integration as a Chrome extension, they're typically not reliable. They conflict with other Chrome extensions, or even they like they get in the way of add-ons too. So they can make add-ons, even the Google supplied ones, not work properly, right? They're tough to deploy because you have to, you literally have to install them on every single computer. They're a huge security risk. Chrome extensions can read everything on your screen, even if you're at your bank account website. It's crazy. And really important, they're not available on mobile. So no mobile, only working in Chrome, whereas Gmail add-ons and Outlook add-ins, um, um, they always work. They work with other add-ons, at least in my experience, they always work. There's a centralized cloud deployment. It deploys in the Google Cloud. Um, and it's super secure because everything stays within the Google Cloud, and your CRM has full mobile capabilities, and that's killer. Even on our Outlook, I know the Salesforce Outlook add-in does not have mobile abilities, and we do. So this is a big slide, talks about Einstein Activity Sync versus our synchronization. And basically, I don't won't read this. I'm sorry, the slide's so small. But basically, like Einstein Activity Sync syncs to Amazon AWS for some reason. It's completely unencrypted. Um, and it doesn't show on reports and things because it's actually stored outside of Salesforce. I don't know why they would ever do that. But our background sync syncs straight to Salesforce.com, is encrypted. It's included in the price of our other connector, like our connector sidebar includes the background sync. Um, and like another thing about the Einstein Activity Sync, they delete your messages after um, a few months. Right? Ours are just there until you decide to delete them, and then you have to pay more for this synchronization for Einstein, whereas ours again is included with the sidebar that I'm about to show. And you can pay even more, and they'll keep your messages longer, but then they still delete them. It takes a long time to sync. Anyway, also one slide on iCRM. So iCRM is our own CRM system that has um, the email integration built in, as well as the AI infused into the email integration. Um, anyway, and then cool ways asking any updates on iCRM. There's a ton of updates actually coming in the email connectors that connect to iCRM. So that's kind of like our unique factor is that we do this email and AI integration to CRMs, and we're all the things we're adding for Salesforce, we're adding for iCRM too. So there's a lot coming down the pipe. It's cool. We got 121 people viewing. Don't forget to subscribe. Sorry, I want to be an influencer, right? My kids will be very impressed. Okay, so let's get into the live demo. And if you do have questions, again, just put them in the comments in YouTube, and I'll try to get to them. It looks like there's a lot of ChatGPT. Here's one Gemini, which is really cool. Um, and there's a bunch of others, but ChatGPT and I think Outlook seem like the prevalent ones. But let me get into the live demo. I'm gonna start in. I'll start in Gmail, but I'll focus on Outlook because that seems to be the vast majority of people here. So here I am in Gmail. Okay, and this is my inbox in Gmail. And when I'm sitting here, all our connectors show us these little icons on the right hand side here. So this is where Google add-ons reside, right? And if you don't already have our add-on for whatever CRM you use, you can click this little plus sign, and then you can search for like Salesforce connector, that's us. Or if I just put in our company name, you'll see. Uh, Here's all our connectors, the Salesforce connector with super um, high ratings, has over 230,000 installs. You actually have over 1 million installs in total. It's pretty cool. And then if you don't use a CRM, you can install this ChatGPT connector, right? And that just helps you by infusing AI into your email. It's pretty much the same deal in Outlook. In Outlook, I'll go to Outlook real quick. In order, you can see that the add-ins in Outlook show at the top here typically. Sometimes you have to click under the three dots and they show here. And then you use this get add-ins option to install from Outlook. So you can see here, I can install like the Salesforce connector right from there too. So that's the way you do it in Outlook. I'm going to go back to Gmail for just a second. So then once the thing's installed in both Gmail and Outlook, you click here. and you click on the appropriate icon. So somebody just asked about Zoho. This is what the Zoho one looks like. But I'm going to use Salesforce as the back end for this demo, just because most people here are using Salesforce. And maybe I'll show a little iCRM too. But Zoho, HubSpot, NetSuite, Sugar, uh, Oracle, they're all supported. Oh, and most importantly, in Dynamics too. Dynamics and Gmail is one of our most popular things. So anyway, if I open the connector, it shows in my inbox, shows some tasks from Salesforce, some other things I can drill into. And then if I click on a message, it then opens the sidebar, refreshes, and it shows me the information from Salesforce for that person. Let's go to Outlook now. I'm going to stay there for a little while because, like I said, most people are using Outlook. So if I open that same message in Outlook, then I click on this Salesforce connector or whatever connector you're using. Again, you can get them. I highly recommend the first thing you do in Outlook is that you pin this, right? And then once it's pinned, you'll it'll just open every time you open a message. This sidebar, connector sidebar, will just display automatically, right? So anyway, this is Outlook. I open the message. It's a message from James Person, and he wants a quote. And then in its simplest form, maybe I would just log the email to James, or I could link it to any other record, like an opportunity or even a custom object. We support custom objects and custom fields and so on. So maybe I want to log the email. I'll do that real quick, and then I'll get into some AI. Maybe I really don't know much about James and his company, right? And he's asking for a quote, so that's probably good. And I can say, well, tell me about, this is the ChatGPT area, right? I clicked here, and in Gmail, it's just like a little slide bar that you can enable the ChatGPT stuff. But once you enable it, it stays on the screen. Tell me about Globex Corporation, which is the company that James, the sender of the message, works for, right? And it knows that because it found James in contacts in Salesforce.com, and it's listed as Globex Corporation. It's actually pretty smart. If that isn't there, you can still do some of this. So then you could say, tell me about this company, Globex. So now, in this case, we're using ChatGPT. It's going out to ChatGPT, and it says, it's really funny, actually. This actually, Globex Corporation is the company from The Simpsons, right? And it knows, ChatGPT knows it's a fictional multinational company. Yeah, so very cool. But obviously, if it was a real company, it'll tell you all sorts of. ChatGPT's amazing at this. Like, it'll show you all sorts of information about the company. So that's like the first thing you can do with ChatGPT. You can also say, tell me about the person who sent the message, and ChatGPT will use LinkedIn and all that to tell you about them. That's really cool. But this is brand new. This is really cool. It's this email analysis. So I'll click on that. And now it's analyzing the whole thread. If there were multiple messages in the thread, the whole thread would get analyzed. And it says, hey, like there's this email, and it's pretty obvious, right? They're asking for a quote, but they're showing a strong sign, buying signs. And then it actually does a cross check with the data, in this case in Salesforce.com, and says, hey, in Salesforce, there's an active opportunity called Big Deal for $100,000. There's past activities, so there's a lot of tasks and quotes and product info. There's even an open case, and it's interesting. It analyzed that case is not directly blocking buying intent. Yeah, and then it even offers you more insight. What are the potential risks with this, given the data that we have? What should I monitor? It's really cool. Anyway, this is all from ChatGPT using data from email and from your CRM. Any questions here? You think this is cool? I think it's really cool. Like, I feel like email is the place, where we have this huge exchange of data. It's also the place, as those studies say, where we sit all day. This is where we work. So having like the AI here and having the your CRM here, even if you found some other tools that aren't ours, like obviously this is the place where you need all this information, at least in my opinion. So anyway, you can click more of these things, say like, um, how can I prioritize this? It goes out and gets more information. You can even ask an ad hoc question if you want. So now it's going out to ChatGPT. Yeah. This is a really good question. Yes, it would tell you if there's red flags about the company because I use it, and if there's something like maybe somebody has a question about pricing or something, it'll say, "Oh, a blocker might be the cost of your product." So yeah, thank you, Casey, for throwing that in there. Um, yeah, so you can see it further analyzes the signals. And you know what, Casey? To my next demo, I'm gonna try to put something in there that's like a blocker, maybe the case. Like, remember when I did the analyze email, I'll go back to that. Um, in terms of like the blocker, like a case in Salesforce is like a trouble ticket or something, right? And you can see um, it it actually says there's an open case, and I think it's kind of considering it as a blocker. However, like the context of the case is not blocking the buying signal. Um, and it says you should promptly address it. So it looks like it really is like analyzing the red flags too, as you put it. So that's really cool. I want to get you guys out of here in less than an hour. So let's keep on going. So I can use ChatGPT to reply to this message, and I'll do that, right? Um, and then when I do that, um, it actually is smart enough to offer up AI possible responses that you might want to generate, um, and write a professional reply, detailed quote, draft a polite response. So, and then you can say, you know what, I want to iterate this and I want to like refine the message. So or I could obviously type um, asking. So he doesn't say like what product he wants quoted. So I could either click on one of these, suggested reply instructions, or I can type one. So I type this, and now, um, and then I can refine it. Also ask when he needs the quote. It's so cool. Improve it. It added, and let me know when you need the quote by. I click create reply, and bingo. Here's my message. And obviously, it's really powerful if you're sending a um, much longer um, reply. And I send it, and that's it. This is a good question, Joe. I'm not going to like ignore it. How is it different from adding ChatGPT into my Outlook? The big difference is we're including the CRM data too. That's the big difference. I think it's also cheaper. Uh, it's like you're getting a paid version of ChatGPT with um, with your Outlook or with your Gmail, right? It's really It's really, really, and it's more powerful because we're just doing more things. I feel like we have our finger on how people deal with customers and leads and so on, and that we're tailoring. Um, um, yeah, the when you send the response, yeah, you can have it automatically saved in CRM. That's up to you. But yes. Um, yeah, and something else regarding how to save. Remember, the email was saved in Salesforce, so we have like an automatic sync. And like Mark, I'll go back to this to answer your question. If you turn on the automatic sync, everything that pertains to a customer will just automatically be saved. But there's another option where you can mark the thread, and if you mark the thread for sync, in this case, I don't really have automatic sync turned on. Um, and and um, because of that, it doesn't save it automatically. But if I mark the thread for sync, now this thread, any replies will just automatically get synced. In this case, to Salesforce or whatever CRM you're using, right? Um, uh, yeah, this is Casey. Thanks again. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could unsubscribe from your paid ChatGPT and this, um, and use this instead. Um, like it is a little different, but like it's the same. Like right now we're using 5, which is the latest version of ChatGPT, so it's pretty damn good. Um, I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know what Epicor. Epicor, is that your company? Maybe you can tell me a little more, and I'll try to answer your question. Anyway, so then you can also compose a message using ChatGPT. Um, and then this is really cool. I don't have a French message or anything here, but you can also translate, which the ChatGPT translation is absolutely fantastic. It's so much better than the like built-in translations in your browser and stuff. So if you're having email threads with people in other languages, especially if you're an American, like I know everybody, all our European and other friends, they all know 10 languages and we know one. So um, so maybe you don't need this, but I do. It's really, really good. Um, and then this is like Ask ChatGPT. This is like just enter any question, right? And this is like you're getting the paid version of ChatGPT included with our product, right? You can just ask any ad hoc question. So that was Outlook stuff. I'm gonna let me go back to Gmail just for a second. Uh, Go back to Gmail, right? And let me just show you the same things. I have a draft here. Oh, you can see like this is the message I sent, right? Um, and it kind of looks the same in Gmail, right? Like it found this person, has the same kind of ChatGPT tools here, so I won't show them again. Um, Social Insights is cool. It shows like the LinkedIn profiles and everything. I didn't explore this much. Here's the related items. This came from Salesforce, so this is like all the company that James, who sent the message, works for, all the opportunities that are open right now, which this is the big deal. Remember the one that ChatGPT found and said it looks promising. And then I can even like, for example, if somebody sends me a problem, um, I could, and it maybe it even had an attachment. Here, this one, can it read attached documents? It'll actually save, um, like if you save the email, it'll save the attachment with it, and I think it analyzes it too. So yeah. Um, and then like for example, if somebody sent you a problem, you could create like a case here right on the fly. And this is true not only in Gmail but Outlook. It really does work the same, right? And then here's the case form, right? And all the custom fields and custom drop downs just are included here in the case form, because we automatically detect all your CRM customizations in Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever you're using and render them. So I can fill. it fills in like the body of of the description of the problem with the body of the message. So I can just submit a ticket. It'll go to uh, whoever's responsible. Let me show you mobile real quick, and we'll kind of get out of here. Um, uh, yeah, Jimmy, I think your Epicor is like a version of Salesforce you're using, and if so, yeah, it'll work fine with if Epicor is based on Salesforce. At least I think you should try it. Install the connector, and there's a free trial, by the way, 7-day trial, and you can just see if it works. That's my advice anyway. So on mobile, let me show you that real quick. And like I said, I'll get you out of here. Any more comments? Uh, there we go. So give me 1 second to get my mobile ready. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So on mobile, at the bottom of a message, you can see this is Gmail mobile. In Outlook, it's a little different. I'll explain that in a second. But you can see the add-ons show at the bottom of, let me scroll up a little. This is my iPhone, right? But it works on Android too. The add-ons are available at the bottom. So those are the same add-ons on the right-hand side here in my Gmail, right? And there's the Salesforce icon. And if I click on it, everything that you see here in the right side is actually all here in the left side, including the ChatGPT tools that I showed. Really, really cool because on mobile, um, um, you know, on mobile, it it like it has full capabilities, and on mobile, it's hard to send like really detailed messages, right? So using ChatGPT to reply to this email, for example, or and then like refine it for you can really, really be helpful because it's so hard to type on mobile, right? I really love it for mobile. Another thing that's cool, like you can take templates even from the CRM, so template email messages. Love that on mobile too. And you can see, I didn't go into this much, but you can drill into the profile of the person who sent the message. I can click to dial on mobile. I can drill into the company of the person that sent the message. But I want to focus more on the AI stuff here, right? Than the connector functionality. And that's why I like kept it more about um, kept it more about um, the AI stuff. So Jimmy, yeah, I don't know the answer to this. I don't know. Link to Salesforce. I think you could connect the connector to Salesforce, right? And then when you save a message, it would save directly to Salesforce. It wouldn't go to Record first. Um, that maybe via your SQL link, it would then get pushed there. I don't know. That's going to be for your internal IT. Um, Will we get a webinar record link to the recording? So the link to the recording is the same link that you're watching right now. So the YouTube video um, will stay out there in perpetuity, hopefully, and you can just view it at any time. We'll also send a message after the webinar, like with another link to the same place, though. It's really cool. We use it, just in case you're wondering, I'm using a tool called StreamYard to broadcast this, and it's excellent. I have no interest or other than being a customer of StreamYard. It's a really good tool for these types of webinars. You can broadcast on YouTube, and literally millions of people can attend. It's great. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation and show pricing and stuff. Any more questions? Um, yeah. Link to, yeah, I'm trying, Jimmy. I'm trying. Anyway, um, yeah, this one, that's a good one. I'm gonna think about adding something in Salesforce like that. I like that idea. Thank you. But right now, like It's not inside of Salesforce, it's in your email. I would argue you live in your email more than Salesforce, so that's better, but, I'm a little biased on that. Alright, so let's get the live demo. There's a lot more features and functions in these connectors, right? Um, but, uh but, like, if you have a larger company, let us know. We can do, like, a private demo just for you. Um So, I talked about the install. You have to do get add-ins for Outlook, right? One thing I should have mentioned in Outlook on mobile, it's kind of the same as Gmail, except the mobile, you have to access it through like 3 dots on the top. And then Gmail, I covered that. Here's the pricing. So if you wanna, pay monthly, price is 24.95 per user per month, and you can pay with a credit card. You can cancel at any time. Um, you can cancel online at any time. We don't play games like make you call numbers and beg you to stay or anything, or have an AI answer. Right? That's what we were talking about um, before. And then if you pay annually, it's 19.95 per user per month. If you have a larger company, there's volume discounts, and we have a lot of larger installs. Um, and as I mentioned before, it includes all features. So everything I showed is in at this price, even things I didn't show, like the automatic sync. And there's a calendar sync too, and the calendar integration and everything. So um, everything is in our paid version that we offer. We don't do this thing where we say, hey, you want the connector, um, you want the connector, um, um, then and you want the AI too, that costs more. We're giving you the paid version of ChatGPT included in this price, which by the way, it's I think it's 4 cents. If you pay annually, it's actually 4 cents cheaper per month than the paid version of ChatGPT. So it's pretty interesting. And then iCRM or iEnterprise CRM, it's only $30 per user per month if you pay annually. There is a minimum of 2 users. Um, and that includes the connector and the paid ChatGPT. So it's a really good deal. And again, we give everything with this product, all the features and functions um, that we offer, we provide with both of these products. So this is cool, Jimmy. That's cool. So yeah, you could connect. I think you can connect our connector um, to Salesforce, and then it'll sync up the other way. So that's the pricing. I'm going to wrap up. If you do have questions, shoot me an email. Don't forget to subscribe. Um, and like I said, I'll try to do good content. I won't do tons of it, so it won't be too bothersome, hopefully. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Again, thank you. Email sales@ienterprises.com if you do have any questions. And there's the AI me. The AI me was 15 years younger, I think. I think I think I need a new picture. Uh, anyway, I'll wrap up on that. And everybody have a great day, and it was very nice of you to attend. Yeah, there's some more comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you very much. All right, have a great day and a great week, everyone. Be well. Be well. Bye bye now.